Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Today I'll be going on the streets asking Canadians what they think about Africa. Please take the journey with us. Like, subscribe, and share. Toodaloo! Hi, I'm here asking people what Canadians think about Africa. What can you tell me what you know about Africa?
Sure. I think I know Africa is my roots. Africa is the beginning, the foundation where my DNA and my ancestors came from.
Okay, wonderful. So, since you know that, how many countries, this, some countries that you know in
Sure. So
Africa?
I'll tell you the dream countries or places I'd like to go to in Africa. South Africa, I'd like to go to Ghana. I'd like to go to Kenya. I have friends from Uganda. So numerous places there.
Oh, that's good. If you had the opportunity to live in Africa, where would you live?
I think Ghana. And the reason why done my DNA search, and I know it's tied to Nigeria and Ghana. So I'd love to visit those places. And one day, who knows? I definitely could see myself planting some roots in the far future, but definitely would like to own property there, connected to my ancestors.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. You look like a very busy person, so we won't keep up too much of your time. Any last minute thing you want to say to us?
No, go
To people who are
Africa.
going or want to go back?
I think it's amazing for those who are going back, and I think it makes sense that we know where we come from and that we have some sorts of connection to our homeland.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Okay, bye.
What you know about Africa?
One thing I know about Africa, we get the wrong information in the West about Africa. Africa is a place where most of us should even visit. In Togo, I would live in Nigeria, but I love Nigeria, especially the capital. It's not the capital anymore, but
Yeah, yeah,
I love.
yeah, yeah. And you say you've been to Togo?
Yeah,
Togo.
Togo is out of like border in Nigeria there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you
okay.
could fly within half hour from Togo to Nigeria.
So what you would tell people now that thinking about going to Africa? What would
Well,
you
I would
tell?
have to tell them where I know, like Lagos.
Yeah,
It is very developed
yeah, yeah.
and it's nice. It's a nice place to live.
And
You could go in the outskirt. I don't remember all them names, but I go in the outskirt of, and it is very
Yeah.
calm
and you have some people afraid of going to Africa. What do you think about
because
that?
no, you will get the wrong news.
Yeah, yeah,
And if you get the wrong news of a place, that's what inside of your brain, like
yeah.
Africa is this, Africa is that, and it's not true. Most of the Western world is more violent, more underdeveloped than a lot of African countries, but we don't get those news here.
And you know how some people say the first thing they say about Africa is animals. And,
Yeah, you go there. I asked somebody about animal. You know how many days they said I would have to drive to go to animal to see animal,
Yeah.
and then they said I could go to the zoo. I went to the zoo, my son.
you have to go to the zoo.
Yeah, that's the same thing like you here. You go
Or
to
you
the
go
zoo.
to the safari, right?
Yeah,
And you see them.
If you want to see them,
Yeah.
you have to fly. You know how far those things from people.
Yeah, yeah. So it's good to go and learn for yourself. You
Yes.
think people should go research for themselves?
Yes, I think research mean physically. Yeah, they should go there
Yeah.
in person. Don't just read on what people write. Cause people going to write something that they want to sell. But go there
Yeah.
for yourself and find out that Africa is the place where we should be.
Of
I
course.
think it's a good retirement place. I think
You
it's-
hear they talk about the year of return.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
When we all go back to
To go back to Ghana, year of
Yeah.
return?
yes,
Yeah.
you know, we origin is from Ghana.
Yes.
That's where we mostly originate from.
Yeah.
You know, Sierra Leone. And, yeah. So Africa always gonna be home, and it's a nice place.
Oh, okay. Thank
Ready?
you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
The question.
The question is, I've never been.
I've never been to Africa, but I have friends who've been to Africa. And I've got some interesting reports from Africa. Friends with me to Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon.
All right.
Not there yet. One day I might just choose to go.
And what countries would you be interested in going to?
Same place, Ghana, Nigeria. There's other Ghanaians living
Yes.
Jamaica.
Well,
And Ethiopia, well, where I come from, Ethiopia is like the
Ethiopia.
motherland, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Rastafari.
Ever living.
You see it? So we have those connections, but I've never been there.
Okay.
What I know about Africa. Africa is a big continent with many countries, people, and cool animals like lions. It has deserts, jungles, and a long history. List 2 or more countries that you know in Africa. Ghana and Zimbabwe. Would you live in Africa? I actually would, because of the different cultures, awesome nature, and it's always sunny, the friendly communities, and the exciting adventures. Where would you live in Africa? I would probably live in Ghana because it's sunny and it's just like, I don't really know why, but it's just like, it's just beautiful and I just love it.
Thank you so much, my girl.
You're welcome.
Bye. Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's nice to see you. Look at your top. One love, Jamaica. So I am roaming the streets and I have just a few questions for you because I want to find out what Canadians know about Africa. And I'm sure you heard about the diaspora going back to Africa. And so that's around the line what we'll be talking about.
Okay.
So, so our first question to you this morning is, what do you know about Africa?
I mean, I don't know very much. I haven't done a lot of research, but what I know of Africa, because being a person of Jamaican descent, a lot of the reggae artists, Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I remember when they were talking about freeing Mandela.
Yes,
you know what I mean? So growing up as a child in Jamaica, a lot of our music and stuff was very focused on getting Mandela out of jail. We talk about our descendants from Africa, how, we don't. So in terms of my knowledge, it's more about me just growing up, and then I haven't really done a lot of research, and just having friends that are Africans as well. I learn different people come from different areas of Africa. There's, Africa is a continent. It's not a country, right? So that much I know.
Yes.
It's a continent, so there are many countries within Africa. There are lots of different languages, lots of different traditions, cultures, and it's not everybody that's the same. Like, you talk to a Nigerian, you talk to a Ghanaian, you talk to a Kenyan. There's differences how they practice, even how the foods.
Yes.
So those things that's what I know in terms of Africa, and and I mean, I'm fascinated, and I know people that have left Canada as well to go on to live in Africa. So
that's good. That's good. So Africa is calling the diaspora home. Okay. So as someone told me the other day, Africa is calling our children home. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good thing. Jamaica is calling the children home too, right? So it's especially in light of what took place the other day, with the pandemic and all these things. I find that a lot of, because no one's gonna build your country for you. Only the people who know, who are from there, who understand what is needed. So I think for sure, like the people who are, who have come to North America, you've been successful, you've gained, some, you've advanced yourself, maybe educationally, technology, and with all that rise, the best place to give that back is home. You know what I mean? So I think it's a very good idea, because you go home, you can build up people that are there. Not everybody is able to travel, so the opportunity that's granted onto you, you want to go back and give back to you know, because it's a lot. That's what raised you.
Mhm,
And even
mhm,
being in North America, you don't forget about your heritage.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Like you bring that. You're still practicing in that here.
mhm,
Like,
mhm,
you know, as I said again, me being a Jamaican, a lot of times my foods, you know, my kids, they say I'm Jamaican, they're born Canadian, right? But the culture is ingrained in us. So I think it's a good idea, you know, to help them to go back and build up the country, to help the younger generation who are coming up.
So, just a follow-up question: would you trace your ancestors? Do you have an idea where in Africa your ancestors are from?
I have
You know
no
what I'm saying?
idea, but a lot of times I get people will ask me, "Are you from Ghana?" Right.
So you never know,
So I
right?
never know.
Yeah.
I never know.
Probably Ghana and you don't know.
Nigerian sometimes,
Yeah, Nigerian.
based on my attitude.
That's good. That's so true. So, in regards to people going back home and the call, or some people call it an exodus, because they said there's an exodus from the Caribbean, and even England, African Americans and Canadians. It's an
Yeah.
exodus, so people are going back home. What would you say to people that are thinking of going back? Or would you go back?
Well, I wouldn't. I would go back, but I'm going back to what I know.
Okay.
So I would go back to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Because I don't know Africa.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, I would go back to what I know because you know sometimes the unknown can
Yeah.
be daunting.
Yeah.
There's fear.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't have an issue with experimenting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say to go back for me, it wouldn't be a back
Yeah.
because yes, I might have history in terms of you know me having African roots.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Mhm.
So definitely for me, it would be not going back, but going to
Yeah.
experience to
Yeah.
find out, to research
Yeah.
my roots, whatever.
Yeah.
Would I live in Africa? I mean, possibly. It's hot, and I like hot. You know what I mean?
Jamaican.
Yes. So you know, you never know. But definitely, I would definitely visit. That is something that I would definitely
Yeah.
do for sure.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah.
So you would encourage diaspora, people who want to go back.
I think so. I mean, as I said, I would go back to
Yeah.
Jamaica. Like, you know, because as for me, I like the heat. I like the culture. I've always talked to, you know, just about like, I like getting up in the morning and just put on a t-shirt
Yes.
and go outside.
Yeah.
You know, that for me is a life that I know, life that I've used to. You know, I mean, I love Canada, you know, so it's not like I would throw Canada away.
Yeah.
But I would definitely, I love having the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
You know what I
tell
mean?
you.
So I think definitely I would encourage people, you know,
Yes.
from Africa, wherever you are, to definitely go back, invest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give back because that is where you developed who you are. You didn't come here and develop who you are. You came and added to what you are.
Yes.
Who you are is based on where you came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you were raised,
Yeah.
the things you do,
Yeah.
the things you like. You know what I mean? So definitely I would encourage going back. Yeah.
Thank you. Those are some good encouragement here. And as you see, my sister, Jamaican, would giving some good encouragement to you to go back, try, research, and enjoy Africa.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the
You're
time you
welcome.
take
You're
to
welcome.
talk to me today.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you. That was a great interview, right?
Yes, it was.
And all the people we talked to today, they're somewhat knowledgeable about Africa.
Yes.
You know?
It seems like as Jamaicans, like we are instinctively, we have our concept of Africa based, I guess, based on the music, based on the history, based on our culture. We seem to have a somewhat knowledge. Most Jamaicans have somewhat knowledge of what they're from and their expectation.
As we go along, we might run into other people that we're gonna ask about what they think about Africa, the continent, and if someone has something to say about Ghana, we're just looking forward to having that discussion, right? So we're heading off.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
May I ask what's your name, please?
My name's Renisha.
Okay, hi Renisha. If you don't mind, could you help me with answering a few questions about Africa?
Sure.
Okay. What do you know about the continent of Africa?
Okay, so I know that Africa is the second largest continent and it has 52 countries in total.
Okay. Can you list two of those countries known to you?
Yeah, so there's Nigeria and Ghana.
Okay. Nice. Would you live in Africa, and if yes, where would you live?
Okay, so yeah, I think I would live in Africa, maybe in Ghana, because I know that the weather is like a bit similar to Jamaica where I'm from, and it has a rich culture, which, you know, as a Jamaican, as a black person, it is also a part of my culture. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for watching my videos. Remember to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification so you never miss another video. Walk good. God bless.